folk dance is best performed not by professionals or even by researchers. It belongs to the people. It belongs to the folk, and so again, the best resource to really learn is to meet the folk. And unfortunately, there is an adaptation that occurs when you put it on the stage. So what we do is really just a depiction, just a little tiny taste of what Philippine culture is about. And
we can't do it exactly how our ancestors did it, but we're artists, we're dancers, we enjoy what we do. It's basically our interpretation of what we think was passed down to us, and just basically our pride in what our culture has been able to pass down. Mm-hmm. We just hope to inspire more interest in the Filipino culture.
It really is just the tip of the iceberg, and there is so much more, and it's such an exponentially larger book to open.
And now, the Muslim suite will begin with Sagayan.
The Sagayan is performed by both the Maguindanao and the Maranao. They're creating a lot of noise in trance, and while they're in trance, they're fighting spirits. So a lot of the movement is meant to call a lot of attention and be disturbing. The costumes in this dance and the property used in this dance, you notice it has a lot of bright colors, and the shield has bells attached, and there's a lot of reflective surfaces and a lot of things just moving and happening all at once, and it's really to just be very noisy. It's a really physical and aerobic dance, and they have to extend and make very full and large movements. And you'll notice also that their hats obscure their face and their eyes, and it really is part of the trance aspect, that they are these spirit warriors, basically.
And now we have Mangalai.
The dance Mangalai in the Pangalai dance form involves the dexterity of the arms and hands that mimic the movements of birds and fish. These movements are accentuated with metal nails called jangay. You have to maintain a very strong posture, yet still remain graceful. It can be kind of hard when you have a lamp to worry about and also a bunch of metal nails attached to your fingers.
It's a very angular dance, but you still want to be feminine. Like every move there's an angle, but still you want it to have like a soft touch, just because you're mimicking birds and fish in the ocean with your arms, and especially with extension of your hands when you're wearing the jangay. So like she said, it's kind of hard to keep that all in mind, keep those pieces of the moves together and still execute it and look graceful. Your fingers are hyperextended, so you want your fingers to look like you, even if you didn't have the jangay on, you want to give that illusion that your fingers are going out to infinity, I guess. And so you'll feel it by the end of the dance, no matter what move you're doing.
Next is Paunjalai. Paunjalai is a Yakan dance that depicts the prenuptial relationship between a groom and bride. The style of dance is actually unique and characteristic of Southeast Asia, so it's also found in other areas besides the Philippines. A lot of the moves accentuate and focus on the positioning and the use of the hands and the fingers.
What makes this one of my favorite dances is the change in dynamic. It's very fluid. At the same time, there are these big accented movements. I think the most difficult part is, of course, the knee walks and the knee spins. It's very hard to get those in sync between two people. It's a hard move, number one, and then trying to get it exactly to coincide with somebody else's.
Another important characteristic of this dance is the use of the kandit, or it's basically a red sash that is very long, and so it's wrapped multiple times around the waist. And in this dance, it's featured as the bride and groom have to manipulate it and interact with each other with the belt.
The hardest part is the physical stunts, the knee spin, the knee walks and the knee spins. But also, it's getting the accents in unison. It's the part where we call them genuflex, and that's what really characterizes this dance. You just want to see, like, that's what I want to see. I just want to see drama, like the lows and then the highs and the arms.
What's unique about the Yakan people depicted in this dance is that they practice a folk type of Islam. They're very connected to the indigenous Lumad. They share a hybrid, like many parts of the Philippines, of culture.
Next is Asik.
So the Asik tells a story about a attendant girl as she prepares herself for a major event. She's seen putting on her makeup, getting dressed, washing herself, she's checking her appearance, and looking for adornments around the room before she exits and continues on. It tells a story. It shows her, this attendant, as her, as any girl does. She's checking herself in the mirror. She's putting on her clothes and making sure it all looks good. So she's fixing her dress while she's doing this. Checking yourself out in the mirror. Putting on your lipstick. I like it because it's just very, very girly and very angular and sexy.
It's a simple dance. Simplicity is nice.
So simple, but it tells a lot. It tells a very cute story.
The hardest part of this dance is being on stage by myself. It's actually one of the most exciting things too.
Finally, we have Singkil. Singkil is a Daragan epic legend, according to Sani, about a brave warrior prince who was in search of beautiful princesses. Fearing he would wander too far from his people, the gods or diwatas took the Princess Gandingan to a forest through which the Prince Bantongan was to pass through. The diwatas caused an earthquake in the forest, causing the beautiful princess to flee for her life. She gracefully hopped over and hurdled the shaking rocks, weaving through trees, trembling around her. The prince saw the graceful princess and followed to save her. In like fashion, he jumped over the rocks and wended the way through the trees. Customarily, Maranao males and females do not dance in pairs. To the prince dance is a distinct war dance called Sagayan. In contemporary and popular renditions, the Singkil is danced by a prince and princess, countering each other's movements. The Bayanihan Philippine National Dance Company has popularized this indigenous dance with musical accompaniment and brilliant costumes. It takes a lot of coordination having to move, having to maneuver yourself through the bamboos while twirling your fans and like driving a stick shift car. It's a very dynamic dance. There's slow parts and fast parts, and it just all kind of blends together. There's a build-up and a climax. The most challenging aspect of this dance is going through the bamboos gracefully while twirling a hand. I mean, you've seen it in Tinikling when we're going through the bamboos, but this one just adds another component with props. I like this dance because it's really dramatic. It's high drama. It has a lot of parts in the story, and it all comes together.